So I'll just tell you how to solve the A-type MCQ questions. I know you guys would know, but I'll just tell for those who are not aware of it, I'll just tell you how I used to prepare for my MCQ. So this is one of the questions from the AMC MCQ handbook. So let's do this question. A 5-year-old boy complains of acutely painful defecation with spotting of blood on the toilet paper. Which one of the following is a most likely diagnosis? So this is a very simple question, guys. So when you see the question, go to the options. Intussusception. Think about interception. They are mostly seen up till 2 years of age, and I don't think it will be likely in a 5-year age. And even if it happens in a 5-year-old, see, you need to have abdominal pain, right? The patient should have abdominal pain, and it's not likely to come with a painful defecation and spotting on the toilet paper. They would have red currant jelly stools, right? That's the key feature of interception. So, do you guys think it's A? No. So rule out option A. Next, you go on to anal fissure. Okay, so option B, anal fissure can be a possibility because, 5-year-old children, they can be constipated. They can have this aversion to go to toilet and they will not pass their stools, and they can have hard stools also. So this can lead to a painful defecation when you're having hard stools, and there can be tears in the mucosa there, and that can lead to spotting also. Yes, so anal fissure can be an option, right? So keep B in your mind. Let's just check and roll out other options also. Meckel's diverticulum. Now, Meckel's diverticulum would present with central abdominal pain, and even if bleeding occurs, it has to be really profuse bleeding, and there will be significant drop of hemoglobin. It's not going to be some spotting in the toilet paper. So I don't think it's option C also. Now, juvenile polyp. Juvenile polyp, again, it's quite unusual in this particular age group, and also, even if it's asymptomatic, and even if juvenile polyp happens, it's likely to give you some blood that's mixed with your stools, and not likely to give you some spotting in the toilet paper. So I'm ruling out option D also. Henoch-Schönlein purpura. Well, Henoch-Schönlein purpura, as you guys know, it comes with a tetrad of features. You will have arthritis, you will have the rashes, right, the palpable purpura, you will have the hematuria, and you will have abdominal pain. You do not have any of those features in the question. And although Henoch-Schönlein purpura can complicate to intussusception, I don't feel it's intussusception either, because there is no red currant jelly stools. It's just a painful defecation and spotting on the toilet paper. So what do you guys think? We did rule out option A, C, D, and E completely. There are no features to say that it is these options. So my diagnosis will be option B. So, or anal fissure. So this is how you should do your MCQ questions. Rule out every options. So see, this is an easy question. When you come to complicated questions, surgery questions, where they're asking for you the most initial investigation for appendicitis, the most best in most appropriate investigation for appendicitis, things can get confusing. So you need to make note and read and study all those topics. So this is just an easy question that we have, but this is how we do rule out each options, and that's how you come to a diagnosis. When you're doing few other questions, and even in the same question, guys, one advice that I would give you is, when you are learning through these options, make sure you read a little bit about intussusception. As I mentioned, intussusception, what age does it happen? What are the clinical features of intussusception? How does it present with? So learn a little bit about intussusception when you're doing this question. Don't spend a lot of time about it, because you are going to read and study pediatrics anyway, and you will learn about intussusception. But make sure you understand why you're completely ruling out these options. And for that, you will need to learn about intussusception. When you, obviously, with this question giving the answer of anal fissure, you have to read and study about anal fissure. Meckel's diverticulum, again, you can just read through the presentation of Meckel's diverticulum, the investigations and the treatment you need to do if you get diagnosed with Meckel's diverticulum. Similarly, juvenile polyp, and also read through Henoch-Schönlein purpura. That's how we do A-type MCQ questions. You need to rule out each options and find the most appropriate option that can come as the answer in that question, and make sure you learn about every other options also, because that will make your job easy when you're solving other MCQs. So this is how the AMC MCQ handbook frames their answer. Just in the same way, guys, it's a beautiful way how they frame their answers, and you need to, that's why I said you need to learn the AMC MCQ handbook. See, anal fissure, it's very common to cause rectal bleeding in childhood, and because children can have a very hard and constipated stool, and this will cause a very bright blood on the surface of the nappy or the toilet paper. So that's why the answer is anal fissure. Now, why is it not the other options? They do give explanation for that also, and that's how you should learn. So each of the other options, like intussusception, Meckel's diverticulitis, or juvenile polyp, or the HSP, They can cause rectal bleeding as a complications, but it doesn't approach as much as how anal fissure approaches to this question. So that's why we're ruling out. It can, see, all these other options can also be a possibility, but it's not as appropriate as anal fissure. That's why we're ruling them out, right? So while intussusception occurs acutely, it is usually associated with bouts of colicky pain, distressing the child, who may look quite obtunded after the bout. And the stool appearance would be red currant jelly. I did not get any of these features in my MCQ question, right? So that's why we're ruling that out. With Meckel's diverticulum, again, you should have a central abdominal pain. And even if you have, it is going to be a profuse blood loss and severe enough to cause significant drop in hemoglobin rather than spotting on a toilet paper. So ruled that one also out. Now, juvenile polyps, these are unusual and they are asymptomatic generally, but even if the bleeding occurs, see, it's going to be mixed with your stool rather than on the paper. So we're going to rule out juvenile polyps also. Now, what about HSP? HSP presents with abdominal pain, the vasculitic rash, the periarticular swelling, and the painful joints of the arthritis, and it may be associated with intussusception as a complication. And in that case, again, you can have pain, you can have bloody stool, but it's not spotting. It's not per se a painful defecation. You will have a lot of other features also to be mentioned. So that's how we come to this particular diagnosis of anal fissure. This is how you guys should do every single MCQ questions when you're preparing for the exam. On the exam day, when you're going through the question, guys, there you can quickly rule out all the options. You don't have to think more, quickly rule out all the options. But when you're studying these MCQ questions, make sure you learn every single options and why they are not the answers also. Okay.